take your fancy clothes and your black silk underwear and go back to Disneyland.
Hi everyone. Today we're doing a slightly different episode. We had recorded the footage for this episode, but unfortunately the audio got messed up. So I'm going to be redoing a lot of that audio. Please bear with that. We're going to be covering a lot of great food and some really cool stuff here. So welcome to our Year of the Tiger Food Extravaganza Part 1. We've gone to the Lunar New Year several times already, and you can actually watch our previous video. It's really great. This year felt different for a couple different reasons. One, it was really crazy crowded. Now, this was the first weekend that we had the Lunar New Year festival, but still, it felt way more crowded than previous years. How crowded? Well, it took us about an hour to get our order over at the Garden Grill, which is kind of absurd if you know how quick you can usually get in and out of the Garden Grill. In addition to that, though, they still had a lot of the similar kind of events and what have you. They had the dance, which had Tigger bouncing around with Mulan and what have you. So that's a fun little show to watch. And a couple other little shows throughout the day, which is nice to see them expand the scope of the Lunar New Year Festival. Our first stop was to the Festival Cart, where we grabbed the Gochujang chicken wings. This was a nice little snack of chicken wings. It came with 4 wings, and it had this really good, the Gochujang sauce, which is hard to describe. The way it tasted to me was like if you got a very sweet barbecue sauce, added some heat to it. That's the closest I can go to kind of describing it with mundane phrasings. It was a very tasty sauce. It was one of those kinds of spiciness that you don't really get when you eat the wing. If you feel like, oh, there's a little heat there. When you do all 4, you end up going like, oh, okay, that adds up. So it's very much in that kind of heat. It's the building heat, not the instantaneous, oh my gosh, I need water heat. With 4 wings, it is shareable, but that's, really kind of a small amount of wings to share with someone else. So it works well as a snack or together with another item as part of your lunch or dinner. Our second stop, as I referenced earlier, was the Paradise Garden Grill. We grabbed quite a few items there because of our long wait in order to maximize all the foodie action. Our first thing we got was the banh mi pork sandwich, which was not too bad. The meat was very tender and sweet, a little fatty, and had quite a bit of vegetable on there, which might not be for everyone, as there were, some bell peppers and some cucumbers and what have you. So not everyone's going to like all the vegetables on there, but the vegetables gave it a nice crispy crunch to it. And so you get that crispy crunch mixed with the soft, sweet meat, and it came together to make a very delicious sandwich. It might not be for everyone because of the vegetable assets of it, but I really enjoyed it. And if you got that sandwich and combined it with something else, you would probably have a pretty good lunch. The next item we had was the Korean-style barbecue chicken. The chicken was really good. It was cut nice and small, easy to eat with a fork. It had that great tasting teriyaki mixed sauce in there that was really, really good. Oh man, really recommend that because the meat was delicious. The rice is, of course, rice. I mean, can't really screw that up. And then it came with one of my least favorite foods probably ever, kimchi. I foolishly decided to try it on camera because of course I did. And my reaction wasn't entirely pleasant. I don't know why I do that to myself, but I wanted to make sure that it at least tasted like kimchi. It does, which unfortunately I hate kimchi. So it tastes exactly like a food I don't like. But if you like kimchi, you probably will like it. I know plenty of people who do. I'm related to people who do. One of the surprises was the spicy Kung Pao tofu. Little fried pieces of tofu on top of a bed of rice and vegetables. this was the thing. I was looking at it going like, okay, yeah, I'll take 2 bites of this and just, someone else finish it. But when you grab the little tofu blocks and they're fried and they're just crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, get a little bit of sauce on them. Oh, so good. Then you have the rice and the vegetables, which is fine. It's a rice and vegetable mix, but it has a little bit of that sauce on it as well. It's just delicious. You get a little bit of that heat, but it's not a lot of heat. It's just there to make this nice kick, this good little flavor to it, and it doesn't sound like it would be delicious. You're like sitting there going like, oh, I'm fried tofu. Okay, Mr. Vegan California. But it's so delicious and surprisingly good. I was genuinely shocked at how good it tastes. As a drink, we picked up the Tiger milk tea with brown sugar boba, and it tastes like milk tea. If you've had milk tea before, you know what this tastes like. The boba was the tapioca. I didn't taste it tasting any different than any other kind of boba, but maybe someone else who is a tapioca expert can tell me that it does taste a little different. But to me, this tastes like the milk tea I could get at one of my local boba places. And to be honest, when you can get a food at your local place and you can get the food at Disneyland, I recommend just going to your local place. Give this one a pass unless you really absolutely need to have a milk tea while at the park. For dessert, we got the green tea raspberry parfait. It had a nice little chocolate Mickey coin on the top, which was nice, held in place with a little dab of cream, whipping cream. And then it had this little crispy thingies, like you'd find like in a Rice Krispie or maybe even a Crunch Bar, just kind of sprinkled on top, which was nice. Visually, it looked really good. The ice cream part tasted like green tea. If that's your dessert flavor of choice, you're definitely going to like it. It's not really mine. I thought it was kind of okay. You get deep enough at the bottom, though, you get those raspberries. Those raspberries are really good, and it blended pretty decently if the green tea and the raspberry has a flavor. But to be honest, if I could have just had vanilla and raspberry or chocolate and raspberry, I probably would have enjoyed it more. However, our editor really did like it, so if you're one of those green tea dessert type people, you're probably really going to enjoy this a lot more than I did.
Oh, yeah.
One of the cool things, if you're a pass holder, magical key holder, you can go to a little area that will give you a cool looking Raja pin. It is done by Ann Shen. It is a really nice looking design. It is free to those of us with the keys to the kingdom. And it's a nice little thing. If you don't have any kind of real festive kind of stuff, you could go and grab that pin early on, put your pin on, and go have an enjoyable time in the park celebrating Lunar New Year. In addition to that, there's a little standy thing. It's supposed to be a tiger. It looks like a repainted rabbit, but I guess it's supposed to be a tiger. It's a nice little thing. You can take your photo there. When we went, there wasn't an on-duty photo person, so we kind of got some help from people in line, and I'm sure that's just kind of a lot of people's experience. I kind of wish there was a proper Disney photo people there. They usually have some really great people who just know how to use cameras and phones really well. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for part 2, because we mostly did savory food this time. There are plenty of dessert options, and there's some other unique drinks and what have you. Who knows what we're going to have? We don't even know what we're going to have, but we're definitely going to have it in part 2. If you'd like to support the channel, we have a Ko-Fi. It's in our description. Not only that, but if you donate, you get to suggest food for me to try. Please make it tasty cookies and cakes and not like weird stuff. Beyond that, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next Eat the Magic.